Hey guys, welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst, and it was a bumpy start today. Yeah, got woken up at midnight because a fire had occurred a couple of doors down, and I'm kind of a light sleeper, so what initially woke me up wasn't the fire trucks; they weren't even here yet. It was actually my electronics. I think it's my router that if the power goes out, it will beep softly, very softly. I'm surprised I woke up to it, but it'll beep softly 3 times, and then it's good. It's what it does, right? And so I must have heard that because I remember waking up to a beeping, and then 5 minutes later, I heard the ambulance, and I actually live beside the fire truck station, so I always expect to hear them and then for it to zone out because they're continuing to drive, right? So that's what I thought was happening, and then there's a shitload of lights, and of course it's dark. You know how it is when it's dark. The lights are more visible to you, and yeah, so long story short, house on my street burnt down last night, so yeah, and they were obviously having troubles containing it because it took 3 hours for them to contain it. So yeah, that's my little story. That's our intro, and let's get into the video now. For this week in WoW, we have Time Walking will be the weekly. It is going to be the Pandaria version. So there's definitely that if you are looking for some easy gear or you're going towards your mounts or anything like that. Children's Week is still going on. It will end this week though. It ends on Thursday. And Dark Moon is in effect, which is a great addition to our already reputation and experience buffs. Also, I do have a bunch of Dark Moon videos on the channel, so if you're looking for extra things to do in Dark Moon, there is that. On the topic of Dark Moon, I got the Moon pet. I was a little surprised. And then on May 10th, there will be a 2-day event. It will end on the 12th, and it is called the Spring Balloon Festival. For those that have never taken advantage of the Spring Balloon Festival, there isn't really anything too terribly special with it, but it is a hot air balloon, basically. And you will need 2 other people to ride in it. You can't do this solo. Something that people have been complaining about ever since. But yeah, basically the 3 of you will hop into the balloon and just take, a ride on the balloon, and that's literally all there is. It'll be easy to spot these, and they are in multiple locations. The locations that are known at the moment is in Legion, Suramar, High Mountain, Stormheim, and Azuna. There is Nagrand and Wad, Valley of the Four Winds and Panda, Crystal Song and Northrend, and Uldum and Kalimdor. Okay, so that is what's going on for this week's events. Now onto the goals. Last week's goals was to level my Volpera and my Void Elf. I did none of that. I didn't even really, I logged in to do other things that took priority over leveling. No leveling happened. That's gonna remain the goal next week, and we'll get some levels on that Volpera at the very least. The Volpera has been kind of I really wanted to level it, but with Horde having next to no war mode buff, it's just, every time I decide to level, I just always choose the Alliance character, because with the Alliance character, I get an extra 25% on my experience buff. But over on Horde, I only get 10 as an extra. So really, most of the time, I just pick Alliance. Honestly, what I've decided is that I don't think Valpera is the goal anymore. I completed the main part of that goal, which was to open it up. With War Mode only being 10% on Horde side, I think I'd rather use this big experience buff of ours and actually level the Alliance allied races that I'm still working on, because, you know, that 100 plus the 25, sometimes 35% on War Mode, it's just too good. It's way too good. You know, there might be the odd time here and there that I putz around on the Valpera, but it's no longer a goal. But it is still a goal to level. I just feel like I can easily level the Valpera. Like, when the buff is done, I'd rather take advantage of these characters that have huge bonuses. And yeah, so if I happen to get the remaining Alliance allied races all leveled up and the buff is still going on at that time, then I'll hop over to the Valpera, like, you know, seriously. But for right now, it's just going to be casual levels here and there, because I do still have quite a few levels to get over on Alliance. And to be honest, when the buff is done, we'll have the Shadowlands pre-patch and all that, but it won't be long before I'm back to putzing around in WoW. And that will be a great thing to do while I'm putzing around. So, as for the rep goal, Zandalari was the main one, but I am also working on the Honor Bound rep as well. Not much has happened with that. To be honest, the reason no leveling happened and the reason no rep happened is because I've had a lot of videos to do this week, so I spent a lot of it editing, and then a lot of them had to do with Animal Crossing as well, because Animal Crossing is kind of a... When it comes to my video creating, it is busy at the beginning of the month, because when the month swaps, then there's new fish and new bugs and all that, and those are videos that I do, right? So it was a little video making heavy this week. So yeah. But it'll be better this week. I'll get some leveling in there and get some rep stuff. Yeah, we still have the rep buff till the 18th. Okay, so on to news, which is pretty much all Shadowlands info. So the first piece of news I have for you guys is some new bows coming to the hunters. I just thought it would be cool to share those with you. So here is a picture of the new bow that is coming to Shadowlands. This is the Ardenweld bow. Over here is a picture of some new icons and some follower portraits. So the fact that they released pictures for the follower portraits gives us a bit of bad news, which would be that the mission board's going nowhere and we will have it again in Shadowlands. They seem to really like the mission board. I personally have not liked the mission board since WoD, but whatever. It's, you know, it's what they do, so. And honestly, on the topic of mission boards, it's not that I dislike it, it's just that I ignore it most of the time. It's just this board that I constantly run past. I'll have my days here and there where I do something if the reward is good. And that's pretty much all it comes down to. If it's a rep reward, or if it gives me pet badges, like the BFA board, I pretty much only go there when there's pet badges on there. Once in a while, if there's some rep, I'll apply it for like my Paragon caches. But other than that, it's just, I don't see a point. So while I know that they really weren't going to get rid of it, at the same time, it's just this useless thing that, In BFA, it's like almost non-existent, because if you don't go to the boat, then you never see the board. It's like it doesn't even exist, pretty much. And you don't need it to progress. It's not like something that you have to do in order to get something else. So it's so easy to just kind of like put it to the back of your head. Another thing we got going on is a new hunter pet tame that will be in Shadowlands. It is the Windsteed, which looks a lot like our mount, the Swift Windsteed, which is in the in-game shop. And I don't know what I really think of that. Me personally, would I tame it? No. But I'm sure some people will. Okay, so in this clip, we see some evidence, I guess, of how the gamepad support will work. I personally could only really see myself using the gamepad, the controller, if I was only leveling. I definitely don't see myself using it for anything more severe. And honestly, this video actually made me laugh a lot. Nothing against him, but it seemed to take a while for him to be able to target the item to loot it. And then at the end of the clip, he fucking dies. So that kind of showed me that, you're prone to more deaths using the gamepad, because he didn't really have that many mobs on him. Feel like he shouldn't have died there, but yeah. So does this video make me want to play it on a gamepad? Hell no. Personally, I'll just stick with my keyboard and mouse. I get why they're doing this. It's to make it more accessible to other people. But to be honest, I think it would be more difficult to play WoW on a gamepad. I feel like going from keyboard and mouse to the controller, like, don't get me wrong, I have my Switch and I have my Xbox and my PlayStation, so I'm no stranger to using a controller, but for WoW? I just can't see that. Even I've played some MMOs on the console, and they even seem wonky. They made it work with Neverwinter, I guess, but like, I always felt like you could do so much more if the controller wasn't part of it, right? Pretty much every MMO I've played with a controller, which includes the ones I have played over on console, is Neverwinter, ESO, and Final Fantasy. Neverwinter runs well. I think they did a good job for Neverwinter, but Final Fantasy and ESO, multiple times there's been moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I had that, but I know why I don't have that. It's because they can't fit it in the key bindings, and that will just always be a thing. I think eventually, while obviously we just witnessed that it is playable on a gamepad, I often believe that you're only gonna really play it on a gamepad if you are forced, meaning you have some sort of disability where you need that gamepad. But But, like, if you don't need it, I would imagine you would 100% choose the keyboard and mouse over the gamepad. Especially in WoW, because in WoW, we're not just talking spells. There's, like, take my mouse for example. I can control a lot of things with the mouse, and then with the mouse and the keyboard together, basically, like, I feel spoiled having an MMO mouse, because I feel like I don't even have to work hard for function keys over here. You know, I easily have access to everything I need in WoW, and I just don't think you'd have that kind of access, no matter what combinations you're doing, whether you're hitting bumper with X or this with A. Like, there just isn't that many combinations compared to the keyboard and mouse. And I know this next example of mine is not from an MMO, but when I think of a controller on a video game that shouldn't have a controller on a video game, the first game that comes to mind is Diablo, which I do have on console. And I have played it on console. I even leveled a couple of characters pretty high level. One of my friends who used to play WoW with me all the time back in vanilla, he no longer has a computer that can run WoW, and he's kind of adapted to console life. So I occasionally go over there to play Diablo with him, and it sucks, man. You know, if he wasn't a friend, I don't know. But the biggest problem I have with Diablo on console is targeting. There is no way you can target. You just hope that it targets to the one that you want. If you're just running up to like one mob, then, you know, obviously it's going to target that one and only mob. But if you have a group, it's tough to target the right one. And that's kind of my worry with the WoW gamepad. I feel like mouse and keyboard is a need for World of Warcraft, but yeah. I don't know. And he's still sitting at a desk. I would think if you're gonna go to a controller that you're like on, like, in your living room, you know, playing it on the big screen, you know, all reclined back on your couch, which is how I used to actually stream, guys. My first year of streaming was always me downstairs, because now I stream in the upper level of the house. But I used to stream on the main floor, and you would see me on my recliner sofa. And yeah, it's pretty comfy streaming, that's for sure. So I don't know. I'm not gonna totally diss it, but I'll never use it. You know, like, I've been playing keyboard and mouse for World of Warcraft for 15 years. Why would I go to controller now? Honestly, if I was gonna go to controller, I would have done it in Legion, because that's when this all kind of started. There were people already using controllers with WoW in Legion, and like, all they're really doing is giving better support, but the function was there. Okay, so the next thing in news is that when the Shadowlands pre-patch shows up, you will be able to make more than one demon hunter on a single server. So they have decided to remove that restriction, and yeah, why you would need more than one? Like, I have 3 demon hunters. They're all on different servers, and they're gonna stay all on different servers. I don't need more than one demon hunter on one server. Like, I honestly don't like to have more than one of each class on one single server. The minute I feel that I want to make like another druid or another death knight, I go pick a new server. I imagine the reason people would want this is so that you can maybe have like a tank demon hunter decked out and then a DPS. But the thing is, gearing's so fucking easy. Like my druid, I have a set for every spec, and that was with minimal effort. You know, I worked hard at my boomkin set, but the rest, I just change my loot and get it that way. And yeah, I feel like something like this would be a lot more valuable before the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, because that it was a Wrath when we got dual specialization, right? So back then it meant more because you could only be one spec. Your one character couldn't be multiple, right? Until Wrath came out. So yeah, I know I'm, going back in time a bit, but, still, that's my opinion, that it would be more useful in a situation like that than, I feel like now it's just way too easy to get gear. You can easily have a fully decked out tank and a fully decked out DPS demon hunter on the same character. But who knows? Maybe there's people that fucking love demon hunters so much that they want, 10 demon hunters on one server. Who knows? Also, would like to mention that it's just that restriction of how many you can have on the server that's being lifted. As far as it stands right now, you do still need to have, a high level character on the server. However, that may lower because in Shadowlands we're going to get the level squish, so it may drop to like level 10 or something. Okay guys, so that is all I have for you guys for this week. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you guys are having fun leveling all your characters. And I hope you're having fun with rep. So occasionally I like to end my videos with a clip of something I discovered that past week that I thought you guys would also enjoy. And for this week, it is a fan-made video. So this video was amazing. I've watched quite a few fan-made videos because, as you know, I'm a WoW fucking fanatic. And I love everything having to do with WoW. And a lot of them are great. But this one was amazing, guys. So I really wanted to share it with you guys. And for those that are interested in the channel it comes from, I will leave it in the description, so just check the description of this video, and I'll leave you a link to get to his channel, and yeah, because I'm sure he'll do more in the future, and I hope you enjoy. So with that said, let's end it with that video, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.
I was a messenger. A mad one, actually. But I had nothing to lose. A fair amount of coin always had me going through unsettling regions. The townsfolk even called me an adventurer. Perhaps that's what it was.
Try that with a stump for a hand. Have a go, why don't you?
During the Third War, I kept distant kingdoms connected through desperate times, passing on messages from city to city. I traveled through war zones and infested lands. Though when things went out of hand, Rampouch always had us out of sticky situations. He was fast enough to outrun anything. Not even a horde of undead could catch up. But that did not last. On one of the journeys, we got chased by a creature. A worthy challenge, I thought, but its intelligence and agility had us cornered. When we felt we outran it, it ambushed us from the woods, slaughtering Rumpouch and hurling me through the trees as I unloaded my gun barrel. I managed to stick my knife through its chest when it threw itself at me. I killed it, though it left me wounded. Its bite drew a curse upon me, made me turn into a monster on a full moon.